So this is Sagar, Anutosh, and Biboswan. So let's start. Let's start with the Q&A session. So we have the first question: will Solid.js or Remix replace React? If that is the case, what is the future for React? Anyone of you can start. Shall take up this.
Okay, so first of all, I didn't work both with Remix or Solid.js, but I think it's just a framework on top of React, I guess. So this is obviously if you are aware of Kenzie Docs gave a talk on web's next transformation, and about how right now we are in the age of single page apps, and Remix is basically about progressively enhanced single page apps, and obviously that's the future. So I don't know whether React will replace it or not, but obviously it will be or it will use React, but it will be on top of that. It will it will add up, it will make some framework which will be using React, just like Next.js, which powers React, but I don't think it can completely get rid of React.
So the final conclusion is React is safe.
Yes. Yeah.
Good. Okay. The next question: what are your thoughts on TurboPack? So how will this affect the Webpack?
Yeah, you can take. No, you can.
I'm not sure about TurboPack, but I'm sure about Webpack.
Same here.
Yeah, it's a very robust library for managing. I'd say TurboPack is again very skeptical about it. I will say that Webpack. I will stick with Webpack for now. I need to check what exactly TurboPack offers. So you mean to say the TurboPack is not completely proven as of now? So
exactly. In the industry, mostly we are using Webpack for bundling the packages. So it's more stable and mostly preferred.
So the claims that TurboPack is making is not yet proved completely.
Right.
Cool. Okay, moving on to the next question. So how do you approach a new framework or a technology? Any new framework or a technology? What is the right path to approach that?
So before starting any framework, the most important thing is to understand the language and understand the programming language on which the framework is based on. So once that programming language is being thoroughly explored, after that one can start exploring the frameworks, because that becomes easier. So that is the general way that should be followed.
So you mean to say first we need to master the language on which that particular framework is using, and then dive deeper into that.
Yes.
We have a very great example of this right now with us. So Dart was there from 2011, so in 2011, but it got popularized with Flutter, right? So Dart is again a very general purpose language, but Flutter and the ability, the development experience make it great. So it's a combination of a language combined with the developer experience, and again the community also matters. How much lines of code is already there in production, that also matters for companies to take upon. So if a new framework is coming on the market, we have already old framework. Either that should give a very high value to a specific use case. Let's say the Flutter give it to that. Like the prototyping on a Flutter is so fast that not any other technology or any other framework is able to capture, like, do it that fast. We had a React Native, but again we don't have that much. We have something called as robustness, and we can say there are more videos and more resources available for React Native. But if you want something quick, you can say Flutter is best in terms of that. So if a new framework is coming, they should solve a problem in a magnitude of 10x. Then only it's a way, because I can give my example. Like I started exactly with Flutter, But I figure out there were not that many jobs. I learned that, and then I decided to go ahead and look at the React side. I was more UI person, but when I looked at the React community was so massive that the small part of not having that great development experience compare that to Flutter, that just balance it out. Yeah.
Okay, so for a framework to be successful, you need to say the community matters a lot.
Community
and the support which they give.
Exactly.
And the problem that they are solving, that should be at least an x 2x. That should be in the magnitude of x. That will only give that will probably give users to try that. So once user is trying, one the client or the all the parties are trying that, and then they figure out the framework is good. But if people don't try it out, the framework only, that's already dead.
Let's move to the next question. So, given the current situation, how should developers upskill themselves? So, we are in a tech crisis currently. So, what are the suggestions that you would like to give for the developers to go through this lean patch?
I mean, it's like if there is a tech crunch, like you just to be like the question how to be upskilled, right? I think the best way of upskilling is like if you want to learn something, like if you have been in a job for suppose and you have been using or maybe something which is suppose you have been using a PHP suppose and and you have been laid off and you want to upskill yourself because you are comfortable in a 10 years job and you upskill yourself. So I think the way to upskill is just to be active in the community first of all to know what is there in the market. I think just like React, we know I learned about GraphQL and everything which you can only know when you attend tech conferences or events or also being active in the Twitter community is first you get to know what is really required of you as the first thing to like what you need, what are the skills you actually require, what are the technologies which people are actually using right now, and then maybe start working on just play projects, like maybe get some course and play projects to start learning those technologies and also keeping your fundamentals strong. I think even in the interviews which I have given, they still don't care about whether you know React or Step.js. In a lot of jobs, they require that whether you know bit basic HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and you can have a better problem solving ability. And I think apart from skills, I think problem solving is still the most important. So just somehow maybe solving different problems is going to do it and not the tech.
So, we should concentrate more on problem solving ability and the skills.
Yes,
That's the way to.
problem solving is a skill.
I think
Right.
the market research is important. Like, which are the technologies that the industries are currently using? Also, based on the geographical location that we are in, like which technologies are being used more and currently in demand. It's better to learn them rather than to go after technologies which are very rarely used or which are not being that frequently adopted. So I think that is a way, and I think the best way is to keep yourself motivated in these tough times, because that's the only thing that is in our hands. And if you are working hard and upskilling yourself and putting efforts, I think definitely there will be ways out. Maybe some companies are laying off people, but there are many companies as well which are optimistic about hiring as well. So it's not like everything is going in the worst direction.
I would say that it's just a current phase, right? Everything seems to be a little getting slow or going down. Uh, what 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 you can control is your skills and your ability to improve on your current skills. So yeah, just don't be don't be like still. Just keep on creating some side projects, like watch YouTube tutorials, keep upskilling yourself, take some Udemy course, upskill yourself, and whenever you get an opportunity, whenever you see a LinkedIn post, just go and grab that opportunity. I will say Saving part is also important. So as a developer, you might get a very good salary, but saving part is also important. As we can see that if recession is going to be there, then looking at that point of view, you should also save some money for your future expenses. And yeah, but we are in the tech, guys. Each and every industry can go down, but I don't see tech going down anywhere soon. It's just a matter of time, 6 months, 8 months, but after that, we'll be on a rally again.
True. It's a cycle for everything. It goes up and it comes down sometimes. Yeah. Okay, good. So we have the last question. So current layoff situations in Meta, if we see that, is it going to affect the core React team? If that is the case, how does that affect the React community?
It's a very great question, I believe, and it's also there are a lot of things. So when open source, so React is open source, right? But still, there's a backing of Facebook to it. People are contributing to React core project, but let's say if the owner of the exact project says that we are not going to put that much money or that much resources into the core development, we might see again little pushback from features, but as a community as a whole, I don't see that affecting much. Maybe for some small time. Uh, you can always look at the examples like what's happened to Angular, uh, but you- but industry will keep on going. We might see a new framework or new something, but React is here for at least 5 years, and so maybe maybe the project get transferred to someone else, or that that's a, maybe React becomes so stable. It's already stable, but becomes so stable that the new updates are not that much required, and with the current resources only they will manage.
So you mean to say it doesn't impact that much? Maybe the further releases may be delayed a bit.
Yeah.
That's all.
Also we are not sure, right, that people who are laid off from Meta, we are not sure to which teams they are belonging and to what kind of background they are belonging from, right? And apart from that, I think React is an open source library. So besides the employees of Facebook or Meta, people all around the world, developers all around the world are contributing to that open source and adding new features, giving ideas. And besides that, it has been adopted in so many companies and have become so stable now that I don't think it's going down, or I don't think any like kind of over situation for React.